Would you looky there, the Arctic Air Company has done it again. They've come out with yet another product. This one is called the Arctic Air Grip Go. As I was looking at the box, it kind of reminded me of another product that I reviewed of theirs. That's the Arctic Air Pocket Chill. And what this was a small fan that held some water, sprayed out some mist, and had some nice lighting. As what I can tell from the Grip Go, that does the same thing, except the Grip Go has, well, a clamp at the bottom. However, I will say that the Grip Go retails for right around $30 and the Pocket Chill was $20. So we'll see what that $10 difference in price gets you. Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. And as you saw, we are going to be looking at the Go Fan Mist. No, we're not. This is the Arctic Air Grip Pro, but it did look like it was the Go Fan Mist. Anyway, enough talking about the name. Let's get right into this review. Let's do an official unboxing to see what we get in our Arctic Air Grip Go. Here we are unboxed, and I tell you what, I did not expect this Grip Go to be as big as it is. If you do a measurement of the fan from top to bottom, it's about 4.5 inches, the same thing from left to right. But if you go from the floor all the way up, it's almost 10 inches. This is definitely bigger than I thought it was. Since I brought the Pocket Chill out to compare this earlier, I wanted you to see the size difference of these two fans. Your Grip Go is much larger. In the box, we also have a micro USB charger. We have the product guide, and I love this card. It actually tells us to be honest, like we weren't going to be honest already, but that's funny. They do want some feedback. I hope they accept it. All right, so if we take a look at the Grip Go, we can see on the front here is a power button. Let's see if there's any power from the factory. Oh, already it lights up and the fan turns on. Let's see what happens when we hit that button again. Okay, so it sounds like we were on the highest fan setting when we first start. We've gone down to the middle setting. Let's see what there's next. Definitely a lower setting. And of course, it turns it off. Very cool. All right, if we turn this back on, you notice this side button. This actually cycles you through the colors. There are 8 different colors to choose from, really whatever you like. And then when you get to the very last color, and that's this one, it looks just like the first one, except this one pulsates or rotates between all of the colors. If you don't like any of the colors, you just turn it off. The fan is still running. If we look on the back, we see right here is where we add water. I actually thought it was going to be where the battery went, but nope, that's where we add water. The directions tell us to add water from a picture or something with a spout, but not directly from the faucet. I guess that's to control overflow. And this is a rubber gasket that goes all the way around. This side you see, it's the access for our micro USB-C charging port. The Grip Go says it has a 2.5-inch multi-directional clamp, and it's important to note that the clamp itself is about 2.5 inches, but if you open the clamp to the widest, it's about 1.5 inches, just so you're aware of that. I will say though, this clamp does feel pretty beefy. If we're looking at the bottom or the base of the clamp, you see this opening, and that's actually a spot for you to hang the Grip Go, so it gives you a more convenient way to use your fan. The Grip Go says it has a 360-degree rotating head. I just noticed that when I went this way, I went around and stopped, so that's a little over 180 degrees, and then if we go back the other direction, it stops right about here. I don't think that's a full 360 degrees. In my opinion, it's probably 340 or 350 degrees. It does spin around a good way, but it does not go all the way around. In addition to moving left to right, you can also go up and down to change the direction of the fan. Before we do any more testing, we're actually going to charge this up. You can see that it has a red light on the back to show us that it's charging. We actually did not know how much charge came from the factory, so we want to make sure we have a fully charged battery so we can test that 5-hour runtime. Let's come back when this is fully charged. It took a little less than an hour to charge this. Like I said, we did not know how much charge it had from the factory, but let me show you something from the front. See how the green is glowing through? The red was actually glowing through when it was charging. You just couldn't see it on camera, but I wanted to show you that's pretty cool. You can tell if it's charging and how much is charged from the front of the unit. Since we're fully charged, our first test is just to see how long this fan will run. We're going to see if we can get up to that 5 hours. So we're going to run this on low speed, no water, no lights, just low speed. So let's turn it on. Turn the lights off. We're going to give this the best case scenario to see how long it lasts. As we're testing the fan on low speed, and yes, it is moving, even though on the camera it doesn't look like it is, it still is moving. I wanted to test the grip of the clip. Let's take off and go. few bumps there. Didn't want to get you sick. But you know what? The clip is holding strong. So tell me, what are your thoughts of the Arctic Air Grip Go? Something you would consider? Not so much? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Well, that was so very disappointing. Our first test on low, no water, no lights, only lasted 4 hours. I guess it falls into the area of up to 5 hours, but man, 4 hours, that's all it lasted on low speed. I'm gonna charge this back up so we can test out the misting feature. So this thing is finally completely charged, and it took a little over 4 hours to charge, and I was really just surprised. So I made sure to run that battery down again and to charge it again, and sure enough, each time it takes about 4 hours, a little over 4 hours to charge. I didn't mention this before, but this has a 2500 milliamp battery powering the Grip Go. Now we're gonna add some cold water into the reservoir. Try not to spill. I've measured this out a little bit already, and it takes about 3 ounces of liquid. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this on. This is the first time we've had liquid in here, so it may take the misters about a minute to prime. Sometimes they work right away, sometimes it takes a little bit of time, so just be patient with that. We're gonna run this on high just to see how long the misters last and also how long this fan lasts. Ready to go? Ooh, look, we got mist coming from this one right away, but the one on this side is not giving us any mist. Let me turn it this way. Can you see the mist coming out of the left side, but nothing yet out of the right side? We're gonna wait some time to make sure that one's able to prime. All right, so it took definitely longer than a minute. For me, it took right around 8 minutes for this second mister to start, but it's now faintly coming out, and so I'm glad of that. I thought I got it done at first. What I have noticed, I had this turned to the side, and I was sitting about 2 feet away, and I can feel the mist hitting me about 2 feet away. So just know that. You don't want to have this close to something you don't really want to get wet. I mean, it wasn't getting soaked, but I definitely felt the mist within that 2 feet mark. 30 minutes in, and you can see that the water is all gone, and the mist has stopped flowing. So you get about 30 minutes of mist at a time while running on high. I'm going to keep running this because I want to see what time it shuts off, but I just wanted you to know 30 minutes or so is what you get. Also, you should know there's a fair amount of condensation sitting on this fan, on the blades here, and maybe even a little bit below. So if you don't want something getting wet, make sure you don't have it right in the general area of the Grip Go. Sad to say, this is getting worse. This lasted for 1 hour and 20 minutes on the high mode, and I did come to the understanding that that mister is running no matter if you have water in it or not. So I guess my first test didn't matter that it didn't have water in it. But that's frustrating. 1 hour and 20 minutes and this thing is out of battery. Here's some other observations that I've noted. Well, you know that this did not come with a power block, so I have to plug the USB into a USB charger type thing, right? And this is my Bell & Howell swivel power, and so it's charging. But watch this. Unplug there, and I have just a regular power brick. I'm gonna plug that in. It doesn't charge it. And this is a good power brick. I use it all the time for my cell phone. So you have to have specific things just to charge this. That to me is frustrating. I wish they would have included a power brick so I wouldn't have to guess what to use. Here's one thing I'm not sure about. Why do you not give me the option to let this charge and run at the same time? Here's what I mean. So yesterday I had this plugged in and I had it running on high. After an hour and a half or so, it just shut off. It was still plugged in, and the light was still glowing red, but it still turned off, and I don't actually get that. Now, it did charge up again after 4 hours. I was able to turn it back on again, but I really should have the ability to use this while it's charging. Even though I do think that most likely people would use this on the go, what if I wanted to sit at my desk and use it? Now I have to only depend on the battery. Look what I've noticed. So I like the idea of having this clamp there, right? But this piece right here is only about 3/4 of an inch. And so you can see that this fan does not hold up strong, like it just doesn't. Like I put on there, I feel like it's wobbly and loose. And if I want it straight up like this, it won't do that. It just falls backwards. Whereas if I had something that was a little larger, such as this 2x4, I put it on there, and this is a solid grip. So that just goes to show you, if you want to clamp this on something, make sure whatever it is definitely a little wider so you can use the entire clip. I think my favorite part is that little clip on the back. So if I want to have this hands-free, and that's how I would use it most of the time, I can just clip it up on the wall, and there it is, keeping me cool. In this video, we were looking at the Arctic Air Grip Go. So what did I think of it? First things first, let's talk about that price point. $30, in my opinion, seemed an awful lot of money for a simple fan. Do you want to know something funny? I actually wanted the grip go behind me on, so you can see that in the video, except as I was shooting this, the battery died, and well, there goes that. I'm still gonna leave it up there though. All right, so let's talk about the functionality of it. It took me about 4 hours to charge this, and that's the maximum time I was able to get usage out of this fan. That was on low, where on high, I got about an hour and a half. That time frame as far as using a fan is not enough. Like if I'm working at my desk, I'm there for 6-7 hours. I want this fan to be working the entire time. As far as that battery life, I know we talked about earlier how the company really wanted some feedback. My suggestion would be to have a larger battery capacity because that 2500 milliamp battery just didn't cut it and I wasn't able to use the fan long enough. I thought that the misting feature was really, really neat. It gives you that extra cooling just if you want it. I was a little sad that it only lasted 30 minutes at a time, so that just means you have to keep refilling it. It kind of did remind me of the Go fan mist, and so when I was spinning this around, if you have it upside down, it makes sense that it will not work because those tubes need to be submerged in the water. Just so you know that. Different ways you have the fan, if the tubes are not submerged in the water, you're not going to get the mist. The clamp's a good idea as long as you're using something big enough, otherwise I found it to be wobbly, and of course my favorite part is that little area to hook it up on because that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, if this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by and I hope you have a great day. All right, let's just show you what the wind looks like coming out of this fan. I'm gonna turn it on. There it goes, it's on high. I'm gonna put my bubble wand in front of it and see what happens. Oh yeah, that's on high. It's actually got a good rate of speed. Let's turn that down to medium. Same bubble wand on medium. Oh yeah, you know what? Not so bad. Any more left? Wow, that's got a lot of bubbles on that one. All right, anytime. There we go. Now let's turn it down to low. Very disappointing. The bubbles don't even blow when it's on low. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the Arctic Air Grip Go. You know what? During this video, we actually referenced 2 other reviews. One was the Go Fan Mist. I'm going to link that right up here. And the other one was the Arctic Air Pocket Chill. I'm going to link that right over here. So if you haven't seen either one of those, I would love it if you would click on one of those links. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you here or here. So go ahead, click one. They're safe. I promise.